Day 2 of the 2025 Roland Garros Championships was not a great day for a few top-ranked Americans, namely Taylor Fritz and Emma Navarro, who suffered some really quite frankly, embarrassing opening round losses at the year's second major. I'll discuss this and Naomi Osaka's exit, as well as her really gut-wrenching post-match press conference after that loss to Badosa. Hey, I'm Christian Bassnight, and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you haven't yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post my Day 3 Roland Garros recap update video as well. So yes, the big match of the day was between none other than Naomi Osaka and 10th seed Paula Badosa, and it was the Spaniard who came out on top of this popcorn, highly anticipated affair, winning with the scoreline of 6-7, 6-1, 6-4. The match definitely lived up to the hype early on. The opening set was really good. It was high quality ball striking from both women, and I was particularly impressed by Naomi and her movement. It was pretty solid, and her ball striking capabilities was really great, really, from both women, but again, Naomi. And I was also impressed by how she was able to save a set point at 6-5, and then she stormed to win the tiebreaker in the opening set tiebreaker, only dropping 1 point. I thought that maybe Naomi would run away with the match in the end in the second set a little bit, but the exact opposite happened as Osaka's level completely dipped in the second set, and she started making unforced errors out the wazoo, which is very sloppy tennis from her. Gotta credit Paula though, she definitely improved her level, especially compared to towards the end of the opening set, and she said that she got inspired by looking at Nadal's footprint on the Philippe Chatrier court, so that's good for her, and she definitely played like she had some inspiration in that second set. Even though the momentum was fully behind Badosa heading into the decider set, Naomi still had her chances, good chances, to take the third set and win this match. She broke first for the 2-love lead, and I felt like if she had consolidated for the 3-love hold, the match probably would have been hers, but she made some tight, really costly errors that let Paula back in. Osaka also had break point at 3-2 in the third set, but I think she let Badosa kind of get a little bit aggressive and force her into errors, and that's something Naomi noted in her post-match press conference. She said that Paula was probably more aggressive than what she was, and that's something that she struggled in the past in recent losses, especially in that last loss against Peyton Stearns in Rome. But the decisive break at 3-all was really more about Naomi making poor errors, particularly on that final wide open backhand down the line that she sent long. This was yet another tight match that Naomi should have won. And someone asked in the press conference what I was thinking. They asked her, are these tight losses becoming harder for Naomi to handle? And that question hit her heart because she gave a really striking answer and was moved to tears and had to leave the press conference before ultimately coming back.
I mean, I think as time goes on, I feel like I should be doing better. But also, I kind of talked about this before, maybe a couple years ago or maybe recently, I'm not sure, but I hate disappointing people. So, like, even with Patrick, I was thinking this just now, but, like, he goes from working with, like, the greatest player ever to, like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Sorry for cursing. I hope I don't get fined, but...
Okay. Can we just do one more English question before Japanese, please? Do you want to take a minute? Yeah, come on.
I really feel for Naomi. She should not be thinking like that and comparing herself to Serena. And the comment really, like, again, she shouldn't be thinking like that. If anything, Patrick is lucky to be working with her because after Serena, he was coaching Simona Halep. It's not like he was coaching another great player like Serena right after. So don't like to hear her talk about herself like that. And again, it's hard to see her like this, especially like crying and in distress, even aside from the press conference on the court before she ultimately lost, especially because she looked so cute in that like Sakura-inspired outfit. It is unfortunate that yet another edgy slam moment has gone to waste as she falls now in the first round, and we probably won't get to see this whole getup again, ever. I don't know, maybe Naomi needs a wake-up call from Nike like Serena had in 2007 and them threatening to remove or revoke the contract because she can't keep letting these edgy slam moments go to waste after losing the first, second, and third rounds. It can't happen again. I feel like Nike needs to give Naomi an ultimatum. They say, if you Flop at Wimbledon, we're giving all your customs to Arena Sabalenka from now on. Again, it's like more mental scar tissue for Naomi. I keep saying it over and over and over again. And it's always a one step forward, two steps back. She did good to win the St. Malo title. She did well in Rome, making the fourth round, then had that tough loss to Stearns. She played well overall against Badosa, but wasn't able to come out on top despite having the break lead in the deciding set. And it's still been over 4 years now since she last made a slam second week. She was also in a great part of her section here at Roland Garros. I think she would have made the fourth round had she beaten Badosa and remained healthy. But now I feel like Badosa did all this in beating Naomi to probably get injured and have her body break down. Knock on wood, hope that doesn't happen to her, but wouldn't be surprised if it did. Still, though, she has plenty to be proud of from the clay season, even though she lost round one here. She did play great in Rome, won that St. Malo title, of course, and played solid for the most part here in Paris. And I am looking forward to seeing what she has in store for the grass season. She's slated to play 2 500s in London and Berlin. I do think she probably should play a 125 in Birmingham, which is next week. I believe it starts next week or something like that. So that could be a good option for her. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Now, the biggest upset on the women's side was really, truly shocking. And not really because of who lost, but how she lost. And I was really just utterly dumbfounded when I checked my score when waking up this morning to see that Emma Navarro had gotten beaten 6-love, 6-1 in 57 minutes by world number 66, Jessica Buzzas-Minero. And really, I was shocked to also find out that Navarro was close to being double bagel. She was one game away from it as Buzzas-Minero led 6-love, 5-love before getting broken. But it didn't end up mattering too much because Navarro got broken right after in the following game. Now, this is not Jessica's first rodeo in defeating a top 10 player in the opening round of a slam, as she knocked out the defending Wimbledon champion Marketa Vondrousova last year at SW19 in the first round. And for her to beat the world number 9 like she stole something is crazy. And gotta give credit to her. The Spanish woman played a great match, played very much within herself. On the other hand, that was an embarrassing loss for Emma for sure. Not saying that her losing to Buzzas-Minero is embarrassing because, again, Jessica played a great match, but for her to only win one game, something is wrong. The stats just say a lot, man. Emma won just 44% of her first serve points, 22% of her second serve points. She got broken 7 times, hit just 4 winners to 23 unforced errors, and just was completely out of sorts. Now, Navarro's loss opens up a good, solid opportunity for Robin Montgomery to go one round further as the 20-year-old American lefty got her first Roland Garros main draw victory, defeating Diane Parry 6-2, 6-1. Navarro's loss is even better for her compatriot at Madison Keys, who was projected to play her in the 4th round. Keys has kept her Challenger Slam hopes alive with a crushing 6-2, 6-1 win over Daria Seville. Meanwhile, 4-time champion Iga Świątek started her title defense, defeating Rebecca Shramkova 6-3, 6-3. This was a very high-quality match that was much tougher than what the scoreline entails. Shramkova was hitting, and she finished with 23 winners to 22 unforced errors, and she probably would have beaten 85% of the tour with how she played, but Iga was just too solid today. She finished with 25 winners to 17 unforced errors. Up next for her is Emma Raducanu, who defeated Qiyu Wang 7-5, 4-6, 6-3. Świątek is 4-0 over Raducanu head-to-head wise, and she has never dropped a set against the British woman. In fact, she only dropped 1 game in their last meeting at the Australian Open 3rd round from this year. These two played twice on clay, both times being in Stuttgart, and they were pretty competitive. Those were their 2 most competitive matches out of the 4. Still, I don't think Emma stands much of a chance against Iga, especially on slower clay. Now, looking at Iga's section as a whole, her first big threat, Marta Kostyuk, was already eliminated. That was on day 1. And 2 of her tough potential 4th round opponents, Jelena Ostapenko and Elena Rybakina, had a bit of a scare. Rybakina, she led Julia Riera 6-1, 4-2, then lost the second set 6-4, and then she trailed 3-4 in the decider before winning the final 3 games. Definitely not the most promising start for the 12th seed, but a win is a win. Maybe the turnaround from Strasbourg was a lot for her, and she definitely needs to play better, though, if she wants to make it out of this quarter. Iga's biggest threat, Jelena Ostapenko, needed to recover from a set deficit before storming to a 5-7, 6-love, 6-2 win over Polina Kudermetova. Ostapenko and Rybakina should make it through to that 3rd round clash to face one another. They both play Americans next. Ostapenko faces off against Caroline Dolehide, while Elena Rybakina plays Iva Jovic for the second straight time in a major this year. Emma Navarro was actually the only women's seed to fall on day 2. Talking about a couple of notable results, Barbora Krejcikova, she won her first match at Roland Garros actually since she won the title in 2021, and this was also her first win of the 2025 season. She defeated Tatiana Maria 7-6, 6-3. Meanwhile, Clara Towson defeated Magda Linette 6-4, 4-6, 6-1. That was a great win from the Dane because I honestly picked Linette to upset her in the opening round. Former world number 4 Caroline Garcia, who announced that she would be retiring at the end of this season, played her final Roland Garros match when she fell to American Bernarda Pera 6-4, 6-4. Garcia has dealt and struggled with injuries recently, so she's definitely not the player that won the WTA Finals in 2022 and accomplished so much throughout her career. So I think it is time for her. It was kind of an emotional watch seeing her get teary-eyed before even stepping out on the court and then addressing the crowd. So unfortunate that she wasn't able to get another win at Roland Garros. She really never played her best here, but I wish her all the best in retirement, and hopefully she can have a good, farewell match or tournament later on this season. Now, someone who did get a win in their final Roland Garros appearance is none other than Frenchman Richard Gasquet. He defeated countryman Terence Atamain 6-2, 2-6, 6-3, 6-love. He now sets a date with Yannick Sinner for the second round. Talking more about the men's action, American Taylor Fritz suffered the biggest casualty on both the men's and women's side, seeding-wise, falling to world number 66, Daniel Altmaier, 7-5, 3-6, 6-3, 6-1. Taylor losing early at Roland Garros really isn't much of a surprise. Even though I had him making the quarterfinals, I really wasn't that confident in that pick, but I felt like he still should have gone to the quarterfinals. However, he has looked mid not only all clay season, but for much of this season. And Altmaier, meanwhile, he has always been dangerous on clay, specifically at Roland Garros, where he already had 2 top 10 wins from Paris alone before this match. Fritz looked very poor in this opening round loss to Altmaier. He notably looked like a cow on ice. His movement was a big issue, and he even said after the match, "My movement on court is really bad. I don't know what's going on. A lot of times when I'm sliding, I'm off balance. I'm not timing it correctly. I don't know. I'm getting wrong-footed a lot, slipping a lot." Taylor's serve also wasn't that great, and I don't know if maybe the oblique injury prevented him from going up and after it as much, or even just practicing the serve as much as he should have. Taylor also does not do as well when he has a good section. I think subconsciously he looks at the draw and it's like, oh, this is a good opportunity for me to do something big, as he had a good chance to maybe do something at the Australian Open, lost to Gael Monfils. Although credit to Monfils, he played well there. But yeah, I think this was a good opportunity for Fritz to for sure make it to the quarterfinals, at least, perhaps even the semifinals. He had probably the best section out of all the top 8 seeds. Now, Francis Tiafoe is the highest remaining seed in his former section. And you also got Sebastian Korda, another American looming. Either of those two guys should make it out of here and make the quarterfinals. Now, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent now, talking about TNT's coverage again. Being blunt, it was ASS today. And I say that because they were stuck on Taylor Fritz's match pretty much the entire time during its duration. And it was torture because I wanted to hear Lindsay Davenport talk about the other matches like Naomi against Paula Badosa, but they were just steady stuck on Taylor Fritz. And I didn't understand it because we all knew Taylor wasn't going to win this match. And even if he did, it was going to be an ugly match. It just wasn't entertaining. And I understand that they're doing this on purpose and trying to get fans to pay for the HBO Max subscription, where they can watch all the matches anytime you want. And I have HBO Max, so I could have watched any match that I want. I was watching Naomi's match on HBO Max, but I still wanted to have that experience of like a Lindsay commentating on the match. I didn't like that. And then even aside from that, they just talk too much. Overall, the people talk way too much on TNT and True TV. Then I have to talk about that silly Mac Zone stuff. That is so stupid. It's John McEnroe and Patrick McEnroe basically just yapping away. And for literally 10 minutes straight, they were talking about baseball and the Mets and Yankees while live tennis was going on. Like, are you serious? How unprofessional is that? Like, how silly is that? It's like a slap in the tennis viewer's face to be doing all that. Again, while these players are playing these matches is absolutely insane. And again, I understand they want people to subscribe for max, but they could do a better job of padding time and trying to stall instead of having those two yap. Like, we got to really do something. I know a lot of people love the McEnroe brothers, or quite a few people love the McEnroe brothers, and I'm just stating my opinion. I just thought it wasn't a good look for them to be talking and running out the mouth for things that weren't even relevant to tennis. But anyways, tangent done. I feel like the biggest surprise of the day, even aside from Navarro and Fritz losing, was 23-year-old Canadian Gabriel Diallo taking down the 18th seed Francisco Cerundolo in straight sets, 7-5, 6-3, 6-4. Cerundolo was a major dark horse heading into the Slam as he led the tour in clay wins this season at 19, but I knew that Diallo would be really dangerous, and this was his third top 20 win of his career. His last one before today came in Madrid, where he defeated Grigor Dimitrov en route to the Madrid quarterfinals as a lucky loser. I think that run in Spain gave him a lot of confidence to do what he did out there on day two. Diallo is 6'8", has a great serve, very good athlete, saw it from both wings, and he's going to be a problem on the tour for sure for years to come. And I can see him make his first Slam second week appearance here in Paris. Next up for him is Talon Griekspoor in the second round, and then he could face Grigor Dimitrov again in the third round, and then in the fourth round he could play Alexander Zverev. Meanwhile, talking about the top dogs, Alcaraz in center. First, the defending champion Carlos. He opened his title defense with a 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 win over Giulio Zeppieri, the Italian qualifier. It was a solid performance from Carlitos. He didn't drop serve once, finished with a +8 winner to unforced error ratio. And up next for him is an interesting second round in Hungarian Fabian Marozsan, who beat him in Rome in 2023. Marozsan defeated Italian Luca Nardi in straight sets, and I could see him take a set or maybe even two over Alcaraz in this match, but I think that Carlos should still come through to make round 3. Now, world number 1 Jannik Sinner also advanced in straight sets. He beat Frenchman Artur Rinderknecht 6-4, 6-3, 7-5. This one really should have gone 4 sets as Rinderknecht led 4-love in the third set with the double break advantage, and he came up with some incredible shot making. And by the way, 2 of the hot shots from this match ended up on SportsCenter's top 10 plays of the day, so shout out to tennis for making it there. But anyways, Artur did a great job of, shot making and capitalizing on Sinner's error proneness, but I do think he felt the moment when it came time to close out that third set, and Sinner, being world number 1 and the best, knew how to lock in. Cerundolo and Fritz were the only 2 men's seeds to fall on day 2. Talking about a few results, 7th seed Casper Ruud defeated Albert Ramos Vinolas 6-3, 6-4, 6-2. Holger Rune came back from a set down over another Spaniard, Roberto Bautista Agut, before taking a 6-7, 6-4, 6-3, 6-2 win. 14th seed and top-ranked Frenchman Arthur Fils earned his first Slam win at home at Roland Garros, defeating Nicolas Jarry, and then 20th seed and 2021 finalist Stefano Tsitsipas defeated Thomas Martin Echeverry 7-5, 6-3, 6-4. That's all I have for my day 2 Roland Garros recap, and let me know your thoughts on the Americans Fritz and Navarro flopping like they did, and then also Naomi once again having a disappointing loss, whether you think that she will eventually find the light at the end of the tunnel or you just don't see it for her. Again, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post more RG content. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support, and I'll see you all next time here on Christian's Court.